Good evening, folks, and welcome to Channel 5 News, Denmark's leading news authority. Tonight, we are joined by our beloved prince, Hamlet, recently returned from school at Wittenberg after the tragic death of his father. Your Highness, thank you for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure, as always.
And all of Denmark offers its deepest condolences for your recent loss of Hamlet Sr. He was a beloved leader and a great man.
I appreciate that, yes it was.
Could you give us some type of insight as to how the royal court is handling this loss and how you all are moving forward from here?
Oh, how blood runs cold on the throne that was once my father's. What a great king. What evil deeds have been done. Of course Elsinore shouldn't be good, and of course I'm not, and Elsinore seems to be fine, of course. Oh, what a wretched state.
Well, as you can imagine, we were all deeply troubled at the sudden death of my father. And the mood around the royal palace has definitely reflected that feeling. But what more can you do with death but cope and try to move on? So that's what we were doing.
Of course. Well, all of Denmark grieves with you.
I appreciate that.
Now, in the midst of this tragedy in the royal court, some joy and hope has emerged in the recent union of the Lord Claudius, now King Claudius, and your mother, the Queen Gertrude.
Hold on. You said joy? What joy can come from this situation? My father, a great king, is dead, mysteriously murdered, and none of Elsinore seems to care or know what's going on, and nobody should be joyful. But, well, except perhaps probably my uncle, before his wicked plans come into fruition, of course.
Could you give some type of comment as to the feelings of this union in the royal court?
Well, we were all very glad for my uncle, and I hope that he has found some joy in this relationship with my mother. I personally have had a very hard time finding joy in anything so soon after the death of one so close to my heart. But if nothing else, I do hope that Denmark will benefit from King Claudius's relationship with my mother.
Very well. Well, our best wishes to the happy couple. Now, in the midst of all this political turmoil and change within the royal court, do you think this will affect our relations with neighboring countries, most especially Norway and the young Fortinbras, who has vowed revenge against Denmark and your family?
No, Norway and Fortinbras are not a threat to Denmark right now. My father conquered his father, and if he ever attempts to conquer Denmark, he will follow his father's fate.
Well, I'm definitely aware of the military tension that is rising between Denmark and Norway. And the only thing that I can say is if young Fortinbras is rash enough to take some offensive military action against our state, we will be well prepared for him.
Do you think it is possible to find peace with Fortinbras?
Wait. Okay, wait. So Fortinbras is kind of a good guy, but no! Of course there's no peace between Fortinbras. My father did not have peace with his father, and I should not have peace with him. My father put his father in a grave for a reason. And if he is ever a threat to Denmark, so help me, young Fortinbras will join his father.
Well, there is always that hope that two rivaling nations in this case, can have some peace. However, young Fortinbras is a very action-oriented individual, and he did not take very kindly to the passing of his father. So, I'm not sure as to how much hope we actually have. I am aware of some efforts being made by King Claudius to establish some peace. He has sent a letter to young Fortinbras' uncle in the attempts that his uncle might dissuade him from taking any offensive military action against us. And in as much as this letter is successful, then there is at least the possibility of some temporary peace between our nations.
Well, all of Denmark is praying for a peaceful resolution to this conflict in the avoidance of future bloodshed. Now, you recently returned from school at Wittenberg. Could you give us some type of insight as to how you believe this schooling has prepared you for your future as a ruler of Denmark?
Well, hold on. Let me think about what you're asking right now. So, my father dies, and let me see, I'm his son, so bloodline, yeah, I should be on the throne, but oh, wait, no, my uncle comes in and marries my mother and takes the throne from me, and let me see, what was your question again? Oh, schooling, yeah. What schooling prepares you for this? Like, what major is that? Like chaotic family psychology? Like, what?
Well, as you can see, I am not currently on the throne of Denmark. So as of yet, the test of whether or not my schooling has prepared me for the throne has not yet been put to the test. And in the foreseeable future, I do not see it being put to the test. So as of now, I can only say that I'm very happy at Wittenberg, and I look forward to returning there very quickly.
Thank you. There have been recent rumors about a possible relationship between you and the Lady Ophelia. Could you comment on this at all?
Yeah, there has been. That's all.
Well, I'm not quite sure what sources the media is relying on for this information, but I can assure you, there is nothing between us.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for tonight, Your Highness. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Now, folks, be sure to join us next week for our live streaming of the performance of The Murder of Gonzago by the Elsinore Players here at the Royal Court. Thank you and good night.